Okay. Yeah, it's day 16, and I think the last 2 days have been the most I've worked in the last. I don't think I've worked as hard as I have ever in the last 2 days. I mean, the first 14 days were a bit iffy because if you didn't know, if you haven't been following the series, I know I say this every video, so sorry, but I'm living in Porto at the moment on my own, and yeah, I came here so I could just kind of just work on my own, zero distractions, and get stuff done. But being here, obviously you don't disregard the place that you're at, right? So I've just kind of explored and whatever, and I kind of acclimatized the first few days. Then my friend came, then my dad came, so it was kind of everywhere. It was a bit everywhere, but I started this series and I'm sticking with it. So yeah, I'm still at this setup. I decided not to move it. It's actually quite nice here. I meant to, but look, it's fucked up because you've got the radiator on the side, but whatever. By the way, I don't know why there's a radiator in Portugal because it's not like it's really cold here, but whatever. But yeah, it's day 16, and today I think I woke up at 10:30. I set my alarm for 10:30. I went to bed last night at like 3 a.m., which I don't really know why. Maybe it was 2 actually. I don't know, but the clocks went back, so it was a bit fucked anyway. But yeah, today I woke up at 10:30 a.m. I literally got straight out of bed. I think that was because I woke up before my alarm, so it was more of a natural wake up, so you don't feel as like you're not as deep in REM sleep or whatever it is when you wake up, and you're more like naturally awake, so you feel more awake when you wake up. So I was able to get out of bed. I'm sure you can relate in some regard, but I got straight out of bed and had a shower and then got on a call with my colleague, literally straight away almost, and yeah, and then kind of got my head down. And what I've kind of learned the last few days is I haven't been procrastinating at all. I know I said this yesterday, but I kind of know what I've got to do, and because I'm doing this series and I know all of you guys are watching me, holding me accountable, I feel like I've just got to do it. So that's literally what I've been doing. So I got on my computer and today I was doing the most menial task. Let me move this camera. I need to see where. Like I set it up before and it's moved. Okay, well the TV's in the side, but who cares? Okay, I'm back. So yeah, today I was doing the most menial stuff because we got to the point of the business where, if you haven't been following this series, the most high return on investment activity is outreach. If you don't do outreach as a business, you're not going to get money, right? So you've got to outreach the people who are potentially going to buy a product. And today, I spent the day literally just getting leads. And I know most people outsource this to other people so they can spend their time doing it instead of you, because there's more valuable tasks that me, being where I'm in the business, can do. So we did that. We have outsourced more people, but point is, on the back end, everything's kind of sorted. I think what we've got to do is outreach, literally just outreach, right? So I've spent the day getting leads for influence marketing and translation content. So that's translating English YouTube videos to Spanish. So therefore I got influencers and I got brands that could potentially want to do influencer marketing. And we're using apps. So I literally got, I think, like I said I would get 600 leads by Monday, and I got 250 today, which is, if you've ever done lead sourcing today, if you've ever done lead sourcing, 150 leads is a lot of leads for a day. So I did that, and then I also got 100 leads for influencers because I got 50 leads. Sorry, I got 50 leads for influencers, but I outreached to 100. So the 50 from yesterday and the 50 today, I ordered today because I didn't outreach them yesterday. Because that's just a fault of my own, and I left it too late, and I wasn't going to go and DM people at like 2 a.m. in the morning. So I DM'd them all today. So yeah, I'm keeping to my schedule, my non-negotiable of outreaching 50 times on it to 50 times for influencer marketing, and 50 times for translations. Now, yeah, I did that. That was very, very time consuming. In fact, I mean, I kept setting this timer, and I'd put it for like 60 minutes, and I'd be like, yeah, I can probably get to this certain amount of leads by that time. And I kept being nowhere near after the 60. And it wasn't like I wasn't using my time optimally. It was just the fact that it was taking a while to get them. So, yeah. But as I said, this video is going to be kind of off the top of my head. I had a few things that I wanted to kind of mention, but I've kind of forgotten them. And I didn't write anything down. So, I'm just going to have to talk as I go. There was something I wanted to say. Well, first of all, I hope you like this setup, because I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's bad. I mean, the desk, if you actually saw the room, you'd realise that the desk is in the most most unnatural position you could have it in the whole apartment. But I mean, the backdrop's alright, so yeah. But what was I saying? There was something I really wanted to go over. I don't want to waste your time because I know you're going to be sat here like, all right, say it, or are you going to click off the video? First of all, I just want to say, actually, before I say anything else, the support that I'm getting on these videos, obviously it's not like I'm getting millions and millions of views, but people are leaving like the nicest comments in the comment section, and I couldn't be more appreciative of them, because I mean, yeah, I made this series not with the intention to grow, but more with the intention of just holding myself accountable, and actually you holding me accountable, and me for then daily diary my day, and I can actually tell you what I'm doing. Whereas if it's just with me, it's so easy to lie to yourself, right? Unless you're an absolute god, it's so easy to lie to yourself. Like you wouldn't lie to your manager, or you wouldn't lie to your friend, to which like you say to a manager, yeah, I'm going to have this project done by 5 p.m. But if it's for yourself to get the project done by 5 p.m., most people will just like lie to themselves, and they'll say, because it's easy to say at like midday, oh yeah, I'll get it done by 5 p.m. But because it's yourself holding yourself accountable, you'll just then leave it the day after, and then you'll just leave it a week sometimes, whatever. You might not even get it done because you're doing it to yourself. You're not doing it for someone else. So it's good that I'm making this series, because I feel like I'm actually getting so much further, because I've actually got a goal that I'm trying to achieve for the series, and I'm trying to achieve for you guys, to actually prove that I can do this, whether it takes 300 days, whether it takes a year, that's basically the same amount of time, whether it takes 1,000 days, whatever. It just proves that I can do it, and it will also hold me accountable, because I can already tell that I am moving forward so much faster now than I ever have done before, because I need things to talk about at the end of the day. Yes, I could lie, but there's no fulfillment in that. And then because there's no fulfillment, I'm just going to end up quitting this series, because I'm not actually getting anything from it. So yeah, I mean, never before have I ever been able to sit here from about 10 a.m. Well, I woke up at 10:30, so about 11:30 a.m. and sit here, literally just getting leads all day. Because if you think about it, if you're running a business, the most boring task that you could possibly do, I'm pretty sure, is finding leads to outreach to. It's the most menial, boring, almost feels like you're wasting time doing it, task that you can do. Whereas other stuff like actually sending the emails, which you can do that automated on Lemlist or whatever, or replying to the emails, or uploading social media content, it's so much more fun, because it's more like creative and you can do stuff. Whereas this is literally just this website, okay, this is the email address, this website, this is the email address, this guy's Twitter account, this is his email address, this is his Twitter @ this is how I DM him. It's so boring. So if you think of that as the lowest of the low that you're going to get to, maybe there's something a bit lower that I'm missing, right? But most of the time, I've sat here for, I say 6 hours. I started at 11. I literally haven't, it sounds bad, but I said this to myself, I'd absolutely hustle this week. I literally haven't left my apartment all day. And I know that sounds fucked, but it has been raining all day. If you look at the weather in Porto right now, it literally rained all day. So I don't think I'm really missing out on much. And I've been here for 3 weeks now. So I've kind of seen everything anyway. So it's not like I'm wasting time here, if you know what I mean. Like I've come here to work, but also enjoy the city. So I'm getting a good bit of mix of both. But yeah, I literally haven't left my apartment today. The only thing I've done is maybe make food, to which I had eggs on toast. To which I had eggs on toast twice today. I had 4 eggs for breakfast and then 4 eggs for dinner. I was going to go to the shop, but then I thought it was later than it was. And I didn't go to the shop to get chicken. I was going to do that, but so I didn't. So I just had more eggs. I've literally had 8 eggs and like 4 pieces of toast today. That has been my food. And yeah, so really exciting. But other than that, there's nothing that I've done that hasn't been working on literally just lead sourcing or fulfilling things business-wise. And I said this to, the thing is, you would think like when you're about to do something, you're like, oh yeah, this is gonna be so boring. I'm not gonna enjoy this. But once you actually start doing it, you realize it's actually not as bad as you make it out to be in your head. At all. Like at all. you build up such a barrier of like procrastination and resistance around doing the topic or doing the task, that you just don't do it, and you'd much rather sit there and just aimlessly watch YouTube or something like that. So yeah, I've just been literally just been working all day, and I do feel somewhat fulfilled. I mean, I don't feel fulfilled like I've got results from it, but I know that it can bring results, and whether you bring results or not, it's the point that I've got over that mental wall of like, I can do this. This is as bad as it's going to get, and I've done it absolutely fine. So it's getting over that initial wall. Once you start doing it, it's actually not that bad. Yes, it gets boring, but it's not that bad. So yeah, I'm quite proud of myself that I actually did that today, because old me, before I came to Porto, I would just put it off and I'd do the bare minimum, which obviously you're not going to get anywhere doing that, because if you want to achieve extraordinary things, you've got to be extraordinary. And I know it sounds cringe, but it's just the truth. So yeah, I did that today. I'm pretty happy. But yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for the comments. I mean, I've got so many nice comments on like previous videos from like 2 weeks ago, from today. Well, the video that I uploaded last night. They just keep coming in my notifications from like random videos, and I think I've gained like literally 10 subscribers today, which I know it's a small number, but like that is quite a big number, to which I wasn't uploading like 2 weeks ago at all. And now I've gained 10 subscribers today, and I think I've got about 800 views total today, because I think one of the videos I actually started getting views, maybe it was like 700 views. I know it wasn't 24 hours, it was the last 48 hours, but still 700 views in the last 48 hours. Unreal. So whoever's watching these videos, I really appreciate you watching. I hope you're gaining some bit of value from them. It's kind of me just talking to myself, but I mean, it's good to document it, because I can look back on it in the future. You might learn a thing or two from my journey, and you can apply those things when you're doing this kind of stuff, or if you're doing this kind of stuff right now. So yeah, thank you for watching. But yeah, I'm finding myself being a lot more disciplined now. But as I said in so many videos, I just want to use my time intentionally, which I did today, to be fair. I mean, I said to myself I was going to work until the NFL started at 6 p.m, which actually started at 5 because I forgot the clocks went back. But so I literally worked from 10:45, 11 a.m. until 6. So I know that sounds, you think, yeah, that's not a very long time, and it's 6 hours, and that's out of a 16-hour day, that's jack shit. But on a Sunday, and just doing a task like that for that long could be worse. And tomorrow we do the same thing, but there's no distraction in the evening. So it's kind of yeah. But I said to myself that this week was going to be kind of hell, if that makes sense. I wasn't going to try and enjoy myself and trying to like live a work-life balance. I said that I would work as much as I can this week, because my mum's coming to visit me on the 3rd, and it is currently the 29th or the 30th? It's the 29th. It's the evening of the 29th. It's the 30th now, because I'm recording this at 1 a.m. But yeah, so yeah, there was a few things that I wanted to talk about, but I can't really remember what they were, to be honest. I don't want to waste your time either. I don't want to sit here and be like, okay, let me just find this. But yeah, thank you so much for the comments. Honestly, it means the world. And the fact that people are just replying to my videos with like motivation and wishing me the best, and saying their kind of struggles and the things they're going through and how they relate to the things I'm talking about. And yeah, I mean, I'm literally checking it now. An hour ago, someone called the Marketing Marshal. If you're watching right now, I appreciate it, mate. This guy said, love from Portugal, G, keep pushing. And he's probably seen me in the Porto shirt, and he's clicked on the video. But most of my, like, I think 5% of my channel, so the 3rd most viewed country of my videos is Portugal. So that's probably because I'm posting them from Portugal. But yeah, I'm lucky, man. I mean, I didn't intend to have this much support on the kind of videos. I wasn't really intending on getting too many views, but I mean, yeah. There was one thing I wanted to go over actually, and I've kind of dabbled on this in the past, but it's sports and things you enjoy, right? So video games, sports, the things that don't bring you any outcomes, but things that you enjoy, right? So there's so much in like the red pill community or whatever you want to call it, like the online thing, like the marketing guys, like don't do this, just work every day. You know who I'm talking about, like those kind of people. They all say like, why are you watching sports? Why are you playing video games? Why are you doing this? And I don't play video games. I haven't played video games for like 2 years now. I have on and off. I mean, my friends still play video games. I play with them sometimes, but I don't spend nearly as much time as I did when I was younger. Like I probably played like an hour, 2 hours a week max now. I don't know why that is. It just kind of, I've kind of just stopped. I actually never thought that would happen, but it has. So, yeah, but I think there's a balance in that, because they'll say, the people I'm talking about, they'll say, don't play video games. What's the point of watching sports? What's the point of doing this? What's the point of, you can understand what I'm trying to convey, right? But I think there's a balance. I tweeted this a few weeks ago. I think there's a balance. Like, if it brings you happiness, if you enjoy it, if it's something you enjoy, yes, it may not be productive, but you're not meant to be productive every single day of the week, like every single hour of the day, every single day of the week. But I think there's a balance between, it's healthy to do that kind of stuff, right? If you're playing video games 16 hours a day every day, then yeah, of course, what's the point? But if you have that free, like hour, 2 hours, even 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever, evening with your mates, like I know it sounds boring, but I'm sure some of you can relate. Some of my best memories have come from gaming, and I know that sounds weird, but I can think of so many times where there's just been moments that have just been like unreal. And yeah, I'm not saying, no, quit gaming, don't do this, because it brings just nothing. It's good. If you do it every now and then, there's a balance. But it's the same with sports. Like, obviously, if you look at sports, sports has literally no outcome on your life at all. It gives you no value, but it gives you value because it's a team that you support. It's something you enjoy watching, and it's just a nice way to just kind of wind down and relax and watch it, right? So, yes, I'm not saying watch sports every single day. If you know me, I literally follow so many sports, it's bad. I follow F1, football, ice hockey to a certain degree, rugby and NFL. My main two, and tennis as well. So I follow tennis, rugby, all of them. And the main ones I follow, NFL, football and tennis. Those are the main three I kind of follow, right? I mean, I still follow the rest, but just not as much degree. I mean, F1 actually is probably even as well. But the thing is, those things are only on weekends, and I know they're kind of distractions on the weekends. But if you use it intentionally, I mean, you've got 7 days a week. If your football team plays, let's just say an average week where they play once a week, not on a midweek game, they play 2 hours on a Saturday. That's 2 hours of your whole week that they're playing. And then an F1 race is 2 hours as well. A tennis match is like, I don't watch like the small ATP 250s or maybe the 500s, but only the good ones. Like, if you're watching the Grand Slams, they're 4 times a year. There's 4 of them every year, and they last 2 weeks each time. And yes, they're a distraction when they're on, but you don't spend your whole time watching them. If you're in the UK, you've got the US Open is on at like 11 p.m. Well, I mean, some of them are on in the evening. You've got the Australian Open, which is on at like 3 a.m., which no one's watching that live. So if you actually look at it, if you're not spending your time watching sports highlights every single day, I don't think it's bad watching sports or playing games as long as you use your time intentionally. And I've said this so many times, it's using your time intentionally. Like, right, I'm going to work these hours. Once I finish this, then there's a cut-off point. I'm going to forget about work, and I'm just going to focus on watching sports. I'm going to be focused on chilling with my family, or I'm going to focus on playing board games with my family, and just stuff like that. Because then you're actually in the moment, and you live in the moment, rather than living like, oh, but I could have got a notification on Twitter, or I could be doing this, I could be filling in this spreadsheet, I could have been sending this email. If you use your work time intentionally the whole time, like, this is why this is so helpful. Wait, if you didn't know, this is a timer, by the way. If you use your work time intentionally the whole time, you're going to get all of that work done before you then go and play board games with your family, right? So you don't have to think about it when you're playing board games with your family. And I know people are going to kind of feel like this kind of FOMO, fear of missing out whilst they're playing board games or playing video games. They're like, oh, but what if I've got a text from my boss? What if I've got a message from a client? What if I've got this? What if I've got that? Yes, you can check those things, but I mean, more often than not, they're not going to expect you to kind of fulfill what they're asking for straight away. And if you actually look at it. This is what I was on a walk on my own a while back, and I was just kind of thinking, I just go on walks randomly on my own, like without my phone or anything. I was just thinking like, okay, so what are my main distractions? This is how I'd format it if you want to kind of like realize how to like regain control of your time. What are my main distractions, and what are the distractions that I have now that I don't actually need to be using? So then I cut it down to this. My work only comes from two things. It comes from Discord and it comes from WhatsApp. But I go on my phone, and I'm sure you can relate, I go on my phone and I'll check, because I want that hit of dopamine, right? I'll subconsciously be checking WhatsApp, YouTube, Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, everything. But if you actually look at it, if I ignored 90% of those apps for the next week, what's the worst that's going to happen? Nothing, right? Literally nothing. Yes, you might not reply to your friend for a week, but like, if they're really your friend, I don't know if, a lot of you might be messaging on Snapchat and stuff, but if they're really your friend, it's not that big a deal, right? And obviously you're not going to leave it for a week, but what I'm saying is, if you were to leave that for that period of time, what's the worst that's going to happen? If you're going to leave Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, all those social media platforms that you don't actually get any real value from, if you were to leave them for a week, what's the worst that's going to happen? Nothing, right? Literally nothing. Like, yes, you might miss the fact that Jude Bellingham has scored a brace and you haven't been keeping up with the football scores, and he scored a brace against Barcelona and you've missed out on Twitter. Cool. But I mean, does that mean anything? In hindsight, no, it doesn't. So I kind of realized, okay, these are the distractions that I have on my phone. These are the ones that bring me value and I actually need to look at. The rest of them I don't actually need to look at ever really, but I can look at as like a reward almost, or as like a thing that I don't necessarily need, but it's good to check in moderation. This is getting to toxic productivity, but it's just true. So I realized I go on my phone, I check WhatsApp and Discord. If there's nothing on WhatsApp and Discord, I don't need to use my phone anymore. Maybe iMessage as well, but I don't use iMessage. I literally use WhatsApp for basically everything. So Discord and WhatsApp. If I haven't got any form of communication on there, and I don't intend to message anyone on there, like business-wise, family-wise, whatever, then I don't actually need to use my phone. So then I'm like, okay, cool. Just take a step back, and you can actually realize, okay, I'm in this moment right now, but the reason I'm on my phone is because I want this hit of dopamine from my social media, which is TikTok, whatever. So that's why I'm on my phone and I'm searching for that subconsciously, because as I said in the other video, it's like a gambling roulette, because I'm going to have to explain this again. Gambling works because you get a win and then you want that win again, and that's why people get that win and then they keep searching for that to get that hit, that win again. And it's the same way that drug dealers work. They are not drug dealers, people who take drugs. They get that initial hit of, let's say, I'm not going to say the word because my video will get like flagged, but they get that initial hit of whatever the drug is, right? And then they then go searching for that next hit because it was so good the first time, and they like just keep going for it, and then they get it again and they get it again, and that's how addictions start. And that's the same way that social media works. Is like your subconscious is like, okay, this gives me easy but a massive spike in dopamine, and it's easy. I don't have to work for it. So I keep going on that thing to get it again and again and again and again and again. So it's the same kind of idea as gambling, drugs, social media. They all work the same way. They've all been engineered that way. So that's why you're going on your phone when you have a free moment. You're trying to fill that void of boredom with a bit of stimulation. So yeah, it's literally why we all use our phones most of the time. Because 90% of the time when we go on our phones, we're not using it intentionally. We're using it to fill a void. You know, when you're walking down the street, or say you're waiting in a line for a coffee in a coffee shop, 99% of people, they're not going to sit there and just stare up into space, or talk to the person next to them, or look at what's in the little like window cabinet of the, sorry, not window cabinet, but like the little bit where they have like the baguettes or the sandwiches while they're waiting to get their coffee. They're going to go on their phone to fill that void. And we do that every single time. We've made it a subconscious habit to do that. So again, I feel like I'm being such a toxic like productivity guru right now, but it's just true. It's just that's just what it is. So I mean, the best way to get rid of that, just breaking habits, really. And as a matter of fact, I've made a YouTube video on it. I recorded it like 2 days ago, and I'm going to upload it soon. I just need the thumbnail, and I need it to be edited as well. But I'll read you the script to the last bit, because if you're watching this right now, which I doubt that many people are, but a few people might be, I will tell you exactly what I wrote at the end of the script on how to break a habit, because I did so much research on it and I've read so many books on it. Give me a second. I'm literally just gonna read the script straight. Okay. So here are 5 ways to break your bad habits for good, so you can then fully focus on the task that needs to be done. Each of these is as important. I don't need to read that bit. Okay. 1. Plan for failure. We all slip up every now and then. As Steve Kamb says, when you screw up, skip a workout, eat bad foods, or sleep in, it doesn't make you a bad person, it makes you human. So rather than beating yourself up over a mistake, plan for it. We all get off track. What separates top performers from everyone else is that they get back on track very quickly. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, cut out as many triggers as possible. If you eat cookies when they're in the house, then throw them all away. If you turn to your phone as soon as you get stressed or bored whilst working, don't work with your phone next to you and put it in another room when you're working. If the first thing you do when you sit on your sofa or on the couch or whatever you want to call it is pick up the TV remote, then hide that remote in a closet. And I know this is like toxic productivity. This is like well over overkill almost, and I feel like it's just like, oh, I want to be the most productive person I can ever be. I know it sounds a lot like that, but it's a way of killing habits, right? So yeah. Anyway, make it easier on yourself to break bad habits by avoiding the things that cause them. Right now, your environment makes your bad habits easier and your good habits. Right now, your environment makes your bad habits easier and good habits and the habits you want to build harder. Change your environment and you can change the outcome. So that's number 2. Number 3, join forces with somebody. How often have you tried to change something in your life, whether that be breaking an old habit or starting a new one? Maybe you quit drinking but kept it to yourself. That way, no one will see you fail, right? Instead, pair up with someone and quit together. That way, the 2 of you can hold each other accountable and celebrate your victories together, knowing that someone else expects you to be better is a very, very powerful motivator. And this didn't motivate me to do this video series. A guy called Danny, I'll link his series or his channel in the description. A guy called Danny motivated me to do this, but this is exactly the same thing, right? I'm joining forces with the people watching me. If I go about every day the same way as I was, and I just waste every single moment that I have and do absolutely minimal work, I'm never going to achieve and get to the aspirations I want to get to, right? So I've made this series so I can actually use my time somewhat wisely and fix the habits that I have, which is main ones are procrastination, filling my boredom with my phone, maybe not going to the gym. I can't go to the gym here because the closest gym is a 45-minute walk. I know that's probably hard to believe, but if you look at Porto and you look at gyms, they're all around the top, and I'm not walking 45 minutes there and 45 minutes back every day. I know that could sound like an excuse. It probably is, but it's a very long walk and I can't be asked. I just do it when I get back. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, it's good to have someone holding you accountable, because if I'm sat here lying every day about what I'm doing, I'm just going to quit the series. There's no point in me even doing it. It's just a waste of time. So I'm just going to do as best as I can, and then I report back to you at the end of the day, and I then have things to show. So there's that. Anyway, number 3, join forces with somebody. Number 4, visualize yourself succeeding. See yourself throwing away bad food, buying healthy food, or waking up early. Whatever that bad habit is that you're looking to break, visualize yourself crushing it, smiling, and enjoying your success. See yourself building a new identity before it comes to fruition. So yeah, visualize yourself succeeding. Visualize the person that is already at where you want to be, and be that person. I said this in yesterday's video, but same thing applies. Okay, and finally, the most important tip of them all. This is just a way to keep people watching the video. It's fine. This one's actually quiet. This one's actually a Bible. Holy shit. Okay. At the end of the day, a habit is in your life, as in some way the behavior provides a benefit to you, even if they are bad for you in other ways. For example, opening your email inbox as soon as you turn on your computer may make you feel connected, but at the same time, looking at all of those emails destroys your productivity, divides your attention, and overwhelms you with stress. But it prevents you from feeling like you're missing out, and so you do it again. And due to the fact that these habits offer some sort of benefit to your life, even if they may be bad for you, The advice of just stop doing it rarely works. So instead, you need to replace that bad habit with a similar thing that offers the same benefit. For example, if you check social media when you either feel stressed or bored, you need to find an alternative, such as taking a short walk around your workspace, for example. Yes, it might not sound as enticing as checking that recent Dylan Dennis tweet about Logan Paul's fiance, but as I said before, if you constantly spike your dopamine, then you're never going to get rid of your bad habits. Find a substitute for your bad habit and use that instead. So it may be hard to find a substitute for a bad habit, but it's just anything that fills that initial reaction, that initial instinct to fill the void. So the initial instinct right now for most people is to go on their phone, right? So that's for boredom or stress or stress. That's their initial escape. So you need to stop that instinct and do something instead, and then you're going to get rid of that habit over time. But it's all about doing it every single day and starting small and just keep doing it every single day. Don't go from one extreme of doing nothing to 100%, because it's never going to be consistent, right? No one's ever clicked their fingers and their life's just fucking changed. That's why people get to New Year. On the New Year, and they say to themselves, I'm going to go to the gym every day now, or I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week or 6 days a week. They start going to the gym, cool, for the first 3 days, and then they're like, fuck this, because they haven't become the person that goes to the gym. They're just going to the gym. You need to be the person that goes to the gym, and you need to build that habit in slowly. If you just click your fingers and start going to the gym, it's not going to, because there's so much resistance around going to the gym, and you haven't made it just second nature. You're going to have to fight yourself every single time you leave your house to go to the gym. And there's no easy way around this, but the easiest way to do it is to build it from small and go, okay, I'm going to go to the gym today. And maybe I'm going to go to the gym once this week. Or maybe I want to be a runner. This is the best example I've heard. It was from his book, James Clear's book on Atomic Habits. Most of you might have read it. It's probably the best book I've ever read. But basically, I think I've said this in another video. Basically, this woman wanted to be a runner. She wanted to do a marathon by a certain time period, but she was a bit fat. She wasn't a good runner. So to build in the habit of running, because it was such a high resistance, because it's going to move her life forward, there was such a barrier of resistance every time she went for a run. It's like, oh, I've got to run. I'm going to be sweaty. It's hard. Don't want to do it. You've got to make it as easy as possible to ease into that. You just start small and you move your way up. So you leave your house and you literally just have to put your running shoes on and walk to the end of your drive. And you've then made the attempt of showing up. That's what you had to do. Just show up. And yes, you haven't run, but you've got yourself out the door. And then the next day, you put your running shoes on and you walk to the end of the drive and maybe down to the end of your street. And you're just walking, you're not running. And then the next day, you do the same thing with the shoes to the end of your drive, to the end of the street, and maybe you go down another street, and then you come back. And it's just showing up, and you keep doing it easy, but you don't run. You don't run straight away, you just walk. And then maybe you go around the block after 5 days, and you literally walk, you go outside with your shoes on, and you walk around the block. And for the last 5 days, every single day, you've showed up to do a run. You haven't done a run, but you've left your house, and you're in a position to which there is zero resistance around you running, because you've already got your shoes on, you're already in your running clothes, you just have to run. So then once you've built the habit and you've done 5 days of leaving your house, then okay, maybe you can start doing a brisk walk, and you keep going slowly until maybe day 20, then you start running around the block. So maybe day 15, you run to the end of your drive, which I'm talking about an American drive. I'm talking about, let's say, 30 meters here. I'm not talking a major distance. Literally, there's a car parked outside the front, out your front door. You walk out your front door, there's a car, then there's a road, right? I'm not talking a massive manor house drive. You walk to the end, you walk to the end of your drive, run to the end of your drive, sorry, and then you walk the rest, and you start running. And then the next day, you do the same as you did with the walking. You do a run to the end of the drive as well as a run to the end of your street, and that's it. You go slowly though, and that's after you. Jesus, sorry, my camera's about to run out. It's on 20%. So yeah, you go from walking slowly to walking fast. You go from walking out the front of your house to walking around the block to then briskly walking out the front of your house and then walking around the block. and then briskly walking around the whole block, to which then you're running to the end of your drive, and then briskly walking around your whole your block, and then briskly, and then you run the next street the next day, and you do it as slowly as possible until it's a habit of you running. And then at that point, 30 days after, you've basically, people say you build a habit in like 60 days, but you've built the habit of showing up, and that is the hardest part. The hardest part, I've said this about work, I've said this about anything, the hardest part of doing anything is showing up. Once you can show up, everything's easy. You realize it's not as bad. It's the same thing as I was saying with the leads. You start working on the leads, it's easy, it's nothing. It's literally just leads, it's fine, you're working on it, but you build up such a big barrier in your head that this is gonna be hard and I don't wanna do this, that you then end up not doing it. But once you actually start doing it, I think this applies with most things, it's actually not that bad. As long as you have no distractions next to you, if you've got your phone, that's just gonna keep taking away from your concentration, your focus. But if you just start doing a task, you realize it's actually not that bad. It's really not that bad. So yeah, it's just the act of showing up. If you want anything to happen, you just got to show up every day. So, and once you show up enough times, it's going to be nothing. It's going to be light work. That's why people go to the gym every day, because they've made it a habit of going to the gym, and they don't think anything of it now. It's just what they do. They go to the gym. That is their identity. They go to the gym. So that's how you want to create a habit. So I'm just showing up. I mean, yeah. It's like I'll go to tennis like that, like click my fingers. It's that easy because I do it all the time. Whereas if I was doing something else, maybe it might not be as easy, but that's how you've got to do it. You've got to implement it, start small and go. And I know you want to start it as quick as possible. You have this 3 a.m. motivation. You're like, okay, I'm going to become the next fucking, I was going to say a word that I can't say because I'm going to become the next fucking Batman. I don't know. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to become fucking rich, I'm going to do this. And you go from 0, doing absolutely jack shit, to everything, and it's not going to work. And then you just go back down to 0 again. So rather than going from 0 to 100, you go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Once you go to 30%, then it's like, you've showed up, you know how to show up, and then the rest of it's just going to flow from there. So yeah, it's just the fact of showing up. How long have I been talking for, man? I'm good at talking. I'm actually incredibly good at talking. I thought I was going to struggle to talk about stuff in this video, and I've just been talking for 38 minutes about whatever. But yeah, I don't think I need to really talk that much more, because I need stuff to talk about in lots of the other videos. I feel like more of these videos are more like wisdom than anything. I feel like I'm making these videos to kind of briefly go over what I'm doing in the day, and then go over the rest. The rest of the stuff is stuff that I write in blogs, or stuff that I've read in books, or stuff that I've learned. And I'm just teaching you about something. I'm almost giving away free classes about random stuff now. Whether they're valuable or not, I don't know. But it's just my take on things. And if they're valuable to you, yeah, I'm glad. But they might not be, and you might think I'm the most naive 20-year-old of all time. But it's just my take. So just yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I don't think there's much more I need to talk about, other than the fact that I need to get a haircut. Yeah, fucking hell, mate, that is awful. That is awful, if you didn't see that. Anyway, yeah, thank you for watching. I don't think there's much more I need to go over. Tomorrow, I'll just go over what I'm doing tomorrow, just so I can tell you, and I can report back tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to be getting more leads, so another 50 leads for influencers. Yeah, and then I'm also going to build some stuff, outreach to people with the leads, and chase up the bloody VSL, because I can't start outreach for influencer marketing until the VSL is edited. So the editor is currently editing it, and I don't know when it's going to be done, but I'll chase them up as much as I can. Don't know why I'm touching that. But yeah, other than that, I'll report back tomorrow. I'll tell you what I've done. But today, I think I just did the most menial, boring task for an extended period of time. So was it fun? No, but it wasn't bad. Could have been worse. I mean, I was listening to music just the whole time, doing it. It was just a task that had to be done, and I'm doing it. So yeah, the highest return on investment now is just outreaching to people, because you're not going to make money without doing that. I know I said it at the start of the video, but I will say it again. So that is me talking for 39 minutes and 55 seconds. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please, I feel like a YouTuber now. Please feel free to drop a like, please subscribe, and comment what you want to see in the next video. That was cringe. Drop a like, I would appreciate it. And yeah, I'm not going to ask you for anything more. Don't have to drop a like either. But yeah, thank you for watching. And sorry that was cringe. Yeah, but see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Cheers.